Taking photos of your kids is not just a test of your photography skills, but also your patience. Even if you get the kids to cooperate, too often your camera just won't, and you end up with pictures that look more like a catastrophe than a candid. So how can you get kids to say cheese without producing cheesy pictures? Today, we'll give you the lowdown on capturing your kids and show you how to make sure that you have the balance you need. Make photographing children child's play, coming up on The Whole Picture. Hi, welcome to The Whole Picture. I'm ERIN Manning. You know, people take more pictures of children than any other single subject, which is funny because children can be one of the most difficult subjects to photograph. It's not so much about what your camera can or cannot do, but whether your subjects are willing to be photographed. They might be in a bad mood and not willing to look at the camera, or they might not have the patience to sit still long enough for you to get that great shot. On top of that, there might be lighting differences in the room. So the kids might be right, but the lighting's all wrong. Believe it or not, there are a lot of things you can do to take more natural-looking photographs of your kids. Just by changing your perspective a little bit and learning a little bit more about your camera, you can take pictures of your kids you'll be proud to send out to the relatives. I'd like to introduce you to my friend ANDREA Jenkins.
Hey, ERIN.
Hey, ANDREA, how you doing? Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Now, ANDREA has a problem. She bought a digital camera and she's been trying to take pictures of her kids at home, but she's not able to capture their natural expressions. Plus, the lighting in her home is giving her some trouble as well. So, ANDREA, let's take a look at some of your photographs and see if we can figure out the problem.
Sure. I kind of like him in this shot, but I obviously don't like the color thing going on.
Yes, that's true. It's looking a little green. That has to do with the color temperature of the lighting in your stairwell. Oh. Now, we'll go into that a little bit later. We also have some distracting things in the background, like what is that coming out of his ear?
I didn't even notice that before.
But the good thing, though, is you are sort of down at his eye level, and we're able to capture a nice natural expression, so that's good.
Good.
Let's take a look at the second one.
Sure. Okay, here I've got my boys going off to school, and the picture's okay, but I'm not loving it.
Well, first of all, they are smack dab in the middle of the picture. So that doesn't make for the most dynamic composition. I'm also noticing, again, some distracting things in the background, like that red truck.
A little.
So you want to pay a little bit more attention to what's surrounding them. And the other good thing, though, is that you can tell they have a great relationship, and we are more down at their eye level.
Okay.
So that's a good thing.
Okay.
Let me show you a picture I took of some kids at the beach.
Sure. Cute.
What's the first thing you notice about this?
Well, there are no distractions.
That's true. Yes, it's all ocean back there, so there's nothing else back there to detract. One other thing you want to pay a lot of attention to, though, is I am definitely down at their eye level. So by doing this, I'm able to really connect with them, and it always helps to tell a few jokes so you can get a natural expression out of them.
Good idea.
Well, don't worry about any of this, because today I'll show you some techniques that will help you take fantastic photographs of your kids.
I'm excited.
The first thing we'll learn is how to get down on your kids' level and photograph them that way, and that way you can really capture their natural expression. And second, I'll show you how to frame the shot, making your kids the focus of the photograph. And we'll do that by using the rule of thirds.
Okay.
And then I'm going to show you the importance of white balance. And we'll work with your camera's white balance adjustments for all the varied light situations inside of your house and outside of your house. And then finally, when we take a lot of pictures that we really like, we'll come back here to the studio and work with them on the computer and make them even better.
Sounds great.
Okay, well, let's head on over to your house and we'll take pictures of your favorite subjects.
Okay.
Your kids.
And the boys are there, and I've got a lot to learn.
Okay, grab your camera, let's go. I'll get the tripod.
Sure.
Why do adults find children so difficult to photograph? They just don't see eye to eye. Coming up, we'll lower ourselves to their level. Plus, I'll show you how to turn mediocre pictures into masterpieces with a simple rule for better composition. Welcome back to The Whole Picture. Mother of two, ANDREA Jenkins, can't seem to shoot the perfect picture of her kids. She's learning to use her new digital camera, but she's finding her small subjects to be a big challenge. So we've headed over to ANDREA's house to show her how to get her shots right down to size.
Hey guys, what are you doing?
Making cookies.
Cookies, huh? Where's your dad?
Upstairs.
This is ERIN.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, good.
Good.
She's going to be showing us how to make some pictures today.
You know, save me some cookies, all right? I think this is going to be a great place to start taking pictures right here.
Right here. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, one of the things I noticed when we looked at your pictures before is that you tend to shoot pictures of your kids from way up above.
Oh.
And that's really a common mistake a lot of adults make,
Okay.
to kind of tower over them and take the photo. But to really connect with your kids, you want to kind of get down on their eye level and take the picture from there.
Okay.
Yeah, get the
Makes
picture that way. So let's go ahead
Makes
and take out your
sense.
camera.
Okay.
And, you know, whatever's comfortable. You can crouch down, put the camera on the table, however you want to get the shot. And
Grab that.
just go ahead and take it. And guys, have some fun, you know.
Gotta make cookies.
Start making cookies. Juggle those eggs. Throw some flour around.
No.
Okay, what do you see? Notice anything different?
I do. I see a lot more of their faces and definitely of their eyes.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, eyes are so important. People say they're the windows to the soul. And it really does help you connect more with your subject and see their personality. And another thing, too, you want to kind of anticipate their actions. Not pose them or set them up so they might get into that unnatural kind of cheese mode, right? The whole trick to capturing candid shots is to really let them do something where they're having fun and comfortable, like this, making cookies.
Yeah.
And just make sure your camera's ready so you can capture all those moments.
I have caught myself doing that. I make them pose.
Yeah, I know. So this way they're just having fun and they can look over every once in a while and you can take the shot. And take as many pictures as you possibly can because with kids, you can never get enough pictures. And having a digital camera, you know, you can just keep snapping away and you know you can always kind of go through those shots and edit them later.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. By taking lots of photographs, you've got a lot of variations. So you don't have to worry about those pictures where their eyes were closed or their heads were turned. You have a lot to choose from. And yes, and remember too, spontaneity is the key. If you just line them up against the wall or something, they're going to start posing and maybe hamming it up in funny ways, which could be good. But you know, it's just if you keep taking photographs, so like the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth photograph, one of those is going to be the gem.
Oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
And remember to get kind of close in and eye level, and you can really capture their personalities. Looks like fun, guys. By getting on your subject's eye level, you'll always see more interesting expressions rather than just the top of their head. It also makes the viewer feel more involved in what's going on in your photograph. Have fun and experiment with your new angles. Don't be afraid to clown around with the kids on the floor or on the lawn. Join them on their level, whatever they're doing. By doing so, you're more likely to make them forget you're even taking pictures in the first place. And you'll capture a more authentic moment. Okay, so while the cookies are baking, let's take some more pictures of the boys doing what they love to do.
Sure.
Now, do you see how getting down on their level really helps you create more interesting pictures?
I do see that now.
Good. One other thing I noticed about your photographs is that you tend to put the subject right in the center of the frame. Is there a reason why you do that?
I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Well, you know, a lot of people think that. But really, the only pictures we want to see in the middle of a frame is a passport photo and a driver's license. We know how much we love those, right? Well, to get good composition, a good thing to keep in mind is what the pros call the rule of thirds.
Thirds?
Now, I know it sounds pretty technical, but if you think about your photograph as a tic-tac-toe board with 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines, dividing the photograph into thirds, vertically and horizontally. The key to the rule of thirds is to put something of interest at each or at just one of the intersections of these lines.
Well, I can at least give it a try.
Good. Well, when composing a photo, try to keep your child's face, especially their eyes, a little off center in the photograph, keeping in mind that rule of thirds.
Okay.
Now, it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's a good reference point or guide to always try and place your kids a little off to the side.
Okay.
And basically what it does is it creates a much more dynamic and interesting photograph.
Okay.
It gives your subject room to breathe in the photograph and allows in more of the surroundings to help tell a story. So let's try switching up your composition just a little bit. I have a good exercise for you.
Okay.
What we're gonna do is the first picture that you'll take will be of your boys the way you normally do it, with them right in the center of the frame. So go ahead and try that.
All right.
Just center them right up the way you normally would. Okay?
Okay.
Now, take the same photograph using what we just learned about the rule of thirds.
Okay.
Good. Okay, let's take a look. All right. Can you tell the difference?
I really can. The first one is sort of boring, and the second one tells much more of a story.
Well, good, because that's what we were going for.
I made it.
Many people make the mistake of placing their subject smack in the center of the frame, not giving much thought to their surroundings. It's easy to fall into that trap. Many viewfinders even put that X in there to guide you as to where the center is. So if it helps, turn that function off so you're not led astray. Using the rule of thirds will make your photos come to life. Not only will it help them be more interesting, but it will also allow you to tell more of the picture's story. The rule of thirds gives you the luxury of allowing the background or foreground into the picture to give the viewer more information. Don't forget, the picture isn't about the ball, but about the kids in action. Now that Andrea has learned to mix up her angles, will she still look at the world through colored glasses? We'll balance things out. That's next on The Whole Picture. Children are fascinating subjects to photograph, but in order to make the pictures fascinating, you have to get on the kids' eye level. Then change your angle, and don't be afraid to position the kids a little off-center. By simply changing your perspective, the pictures you take quickly become much more interesting. Welcome back to The Whole Picture. I'm ERIN Manning, and I'm helping Andrea Jenkins take more natural photographs of her two boys. Andrea, do you think you're getting a better handle now on setting up shots of the kids?
I definitely think I'm getting it.
Good. Well, let's move on to another problem you're having with your pictures. And just for the sake of this lesson, I went ahead and set the camera on the tripod.
Okay.
So, looking around the kitchen, I notice you have at least 2 different light sources here. You've got natural light coming in from the windows, and then incandescent light coming from those lamps up above.
Oh, okay.
So it's really important to understand that different light sources have different color temperatures, and the camera interprets each one of those color temperatures differently. So typically, outside light tends to have kind of a bluish cast. And then if you ever go inside of an office that has those fluorescent lights, they tend to have kind of a greenish cast. And then inside in the home where we have incandescent lights, it's sort of a yellow-orange cast to it.
Oh, okay.
So trust me, shooting photography with just one light source is confusing enough. But when you add in all those different light sources, it really can confuse the camera.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking happened to your photographs, is all these different light sources is causing that weird tint.
Oh, makes sense.
Andrea, I have to ask you.
Yes.
Have you ever seen one of these?
Yes, I have. Maybe the first time I bought the camera.
Well, it's something a lot of people overlook when they get a new camera. I mean, most of us think, hey, I know how to use this thing, right? Just point and shoot.
Like me.
Yeah, well, that's easy enough. But if you check your owner's manual, you'll learn about a little feature called white balance. And it's a hidden gem that really helps you improve your shots. White balance tells your camera what is white and what isn't. So if your camera knows what's white, then all the other colors in the spectrum will be correct. So your reds will be red, like your shirt, blues will be blue, and so on. So we're going to change the setting on your camera to match the type of light source that's dominant. Changing your white balance is easy to do. Set your camera to manual and navigate your menus to the white balance option. Although the white balance setting will give you good pictures, to get great ones you have to experiment. If you're shooting outdoors on a sunny day, switch to the daylight setting. If it's cloudy, switch to cloudy. The tungsten setting will typically be for indoor lighting. Check to see what options your camera offers and try them in different types of light. If you set your white balance and your pictures still turn out wrong, try setting a custom white balance, especially when dealing with multiple light sources. Under the white balance menu, look for the custom setting option. Then place a piece of white paper in front of the camera so that it completely fills the frame. Then press the set button. The camera reads the white from the paper and will now recognize what is actually white under these lighting conditions. You're then ready to take your pictures. Always refer to your owner's manual for specific instructions on how to white balance your camera. You can also log on to our website at DIYnetwork.com for more details. Now it's time to head back to my studio to see how Andrea's pictures have matured. If they still have room to grow, we can fix them with our imaging software. That's next on The Whole Picture. Welcome back to The Whole Picture. If you're like most people, you love to take pictures of your kids, but most of your shots may end up getting thrown away. For a more interesting and professional photo, you have to tweak the angle of your shot and get down on the kid's eye level. Then change your composition by moving your subject from the center of your frame to the side. If your photos come out a little off color, try white balancing your camera, adjusting it for the right light source. The good news with digital photography is that you can usually work with a photo later. Okay, Andrea, the time has come for you to see all your photographs.
Okay.
Do you feel pretty good about what you learned today?
I do. I think I learned a lot, especially getting down on their level and getting eye level with them.
I think you did a good job at that.
Hope so.
Okay, so I plugged in the camera, downloaded all the photos to the computer. Let's go ahead and scroll through and take a look.
Okay. Oh, those look better already.
They do. I love the expressions on some of them. Go ahead and find one you really like and let's double click.
What about this one? Oh, that's cute.
That's great. I love the cookie mouth on this. The only problem is it still has a yellowish cast to it.
It does.
Which happens a lot indoors. So let's, before we get started, go up here to the menu bar and click on File. We'll do a Save As and just call it a different name. This way we archive the original and we're just working on the copy.
In case I mess it up?
That's right. Safe way to do it. We've always got the original photograph. Okay, that's good.
There we go.
Now comes the fun part. We can play with the color.
Okay.
Let's come up here to the menu bar again and click on Enhance. And we'll scroll down to Adjust Color.
We have a lot of choices.
A lot of choices off to the right. Today we'll just work with color variations.
Well, that's neat.
That's a great window because it gives us a lot of choices. The before and after, so you can see what you're working on. Also all the color variations down here you can play with, and the contrast.
That makes it pretty simple.
It does. Yeah. So now the picture's a little overly yellow, so what I would do in that case is increase some blue.
Well, that made it better already.
You can see the difference. And you can really play around with this too, increase more blue if you want. If you feel like you've done too much, don't worry. There's an undo button. You can click on that and just goes a step back. We can also play with contrast over here. Since the picture's a little on the dark side, you can lighten it.
That looks better.
Yeah, and just play around and make it look the way you want. And when you're finished, just go ahead and click OK.
There we go. That did take it out.
Looks a lot better. Looks a lot better than it did before. Okay, let's do a file save, and we'll print it out. For more details on anything I've shown you here today, just log on to our website at DIYnetwork.com. Okay, Andrea, let's take a look at the photograph you brought in earlier.
Okay.
Do you see where your problems were?
I do. It must not have been color balanced, and he's centered in the picture.
Yeah, and a little bit of distraction going on there.
Yeah.
But since then, I think you've learned quite a bit. Look at the photo that you worked on today.
Oh, wow. Much better.
Quite the difference.
Much better.
You can see where you framed the shot a little bit better. He's not quite smack in the center. And you've adjusted the color balance, so it looks much more natural.
Right.
It's a much more engaging photograph. I like it.
Cute.
I think you've really improved a lot.
I'm excited.
Well, you know, remember, especially with kids, always keep your camera with you, because the more pictures you take, the better you get.
I needed that.
Well, you know what? You did a great job. Just keep up the good work. And thank you so much for coming in today. And especially, it was nice working with your boys.
Thank you, Erin. I learned a lot.
You're welcome. I hope you'll use the techniques you learned today and take your own great family photographs for your family album. Join me next time on The Whole Picture. Okay, I think we can make some changes on the ones you took before and probably just adjust.